Hello everyone. Good morning. Have you had a breakfast? Yes. Oh, then show some energy. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So, before I start, let me just tell you that my topic is in continuation with Pankaj. So, I'm going to discuss a few things related to the new feature added to Angular 15. Function route guard are added to Angular 14, but it got some of the enhancement with the 15. So I'll be talking on that part. And after that, continuation with the Shah. So he will be also talking on version 15. So my topic might be, small things, but might be useful in your daily work, okay? But before we start, just how many of you are attending the NG India for the first time? This many for the first time? Oh my God. And who all are present for all 5 edition? Just 2-3 people. Yes. So, before we start, I have few things to let you know. NG India, right? This conference is started before 6 years. 1 year for COVID we didn't do at that time. I have attended all 5 as an attendee, as a speaker. But do you really know in organizing a conference how much effort it is needed? And you might be surprised to know that this conference is managed by only a single person, and the name is Dhananjay, right? So have a huge round of applause for DJ for creating such a conference in a north part of India. We usually have big conferences in the south part like Bangalore, Hyderabad, right? But for this conference, and this is for the 5th year in a row, except 1 year for the COVID, this is huge efforts needed for creating such a conference. So let us all thank you one more time, Dhananjay, for creating opportunities for us. Thanks, DJ. Okay, back to this functional router guard. So you might be familiar with the version 13.12, right? Probably. So Angular team is releasing version every 6 months, but we are not upgrading every 6 months or every day, right? Because we are working on a client application, enterprise application. Some of the applications still runs on Angular 7 or 8 in big organization, right? So people might think we are just now got familiar with route guard, auth guard, authentication services, and now you came up with a new topic, functional route guard. Making sense? And now we need to learn the things again. So partially yes and no. The class-based route guard is going to with the version 15, it has deprecated, and might be with the version 17, it might be removed also, right? So this is something important, but it's an easier way to implement functional based route guard, and it's a cleaner approach. All right. So just to save time, what I have done, I have created a PPT where I have put a code snippet, and also I have the running application with me. I'll share a GitHub link so you guys can see that working demo, and I'll also show you the working demo here. But I just don't want to write the code in front of you because it don't work. If I do the live code, it might not work, right? So I have prepared that, I'll share that, and let us see how it will be useful to you guys. Okay, all ready? Thank you. So you all might be aware, and I hope that is visible at the end, right? Font size is good? If not, I cannot do anything. So you might be familiar with this, right? In your application, where you want to protect your routes, right? This is just a basic requirement. You want to protect some of your routes, right? Basic example we are taking for authentication. So if some of the user are logged in, then he or she only able to navigate to, or they can access those routes. Making sense? So this is a current approach, how we are doing. So for that, I have created auth service.ts file using schematic ngg service and name of the service. No rocket science, making sense, simple. There I have created logged in property. By default I make it to false, and there is one method, it is return the property, whatever the current state. Clear so far with me? Next. Again I have created a guard, which is authentication guard. I name it authguard.ts. For this, again there is a schematic, ng, g for generate, and then g for guard, and the name of the guard. Alright, when you hit this schematic, you will have the options which methods, right, you want to implement. Can activate, can deactivate, and so on. So I have just implemented can activate, and here I have removed that import statement from the code snippet, so it will be visible in a single slide. So here if you can see, what I am doing is on my constructor, just I have added two dependency. One is for the auth service, which we have created previously, and the other one is the router. Making sense? Usually we have that dependency inside a constructor for the class-based implementation. Now here, if you see inside that can activate method, here I am checking if the user is logged in, I am returning to true. That means allows to continue with the navigation. Make sense? And if it is not logged in, then I am navigating back to no access page, or whatever you want to do. So far with me, guys? And this is my route guard, module file, routes, how it will look like. So I have that path, component, and some of the routes here. Alright? Let us see that implementation here. So right now, if you see, I have home and product component, right? Admin, dashboard, and demo, I have not added path. If you have observed, there I have only two paths, home and product. So if I click on product, this component is working. Now, if I go here, and my auth service, I have made this to true. So if I change it to false, right? And now if I try to access that path, you can see right now, this is no access, but if I can show you, making sense? So this is the current approach, what you guys are implementing, right? What should be the next approach? Functional route guard. So before we start, you might have few questions. How it will work, which I obviously tell you, like, will class guard, which you guys might know already, will continue to work. So that will not be working anymore with the class component. It is deprecated with the current version 15, and might with the latest update, it will be removed. How easy or how hard we can convert our auth guard to the functional guard, right? So these are the some of the questions you might be having, but believe me, if you see this route guard, so if you see this, there is nothing wrong with this approach. But if you see the number of lines, right, or just boilerplate code required to implement that auth guard, right, it's somewhere around 20 lines. Making sense? Now if you see the same approach, just a 6 line of code. Same thing, same whatever that class-based implementation is doing, the same thing, it will be implemented by this, right? But the approach is a cleaner. And this is a functional approach. So you can use all JavaScript features inside this. Am I making sense, guys? Let me just try and create. Okay. In order to save your time, I'll just prepare a demo I have prepared, but just let me go through with 2 slides. I have prepared it. So just see that. I am Jinal Shah, and this is my contact details. And you can find the backend demo link in the URL. Making sense? Okay, let me just switch to demo. So I have created that path only. All right, so just I've added new path for admin, right? And now, in order to use that functional component, right, I'm using the same can activate. Okay? Now can activate takes an array. So on can activate, right, if you want to implement the functional route guard, simple, you can use the arrow function, right? And if you want to just set that false, that is it. Your functional guard is implemented. Making sense? Just an arrow function, and inside that arrow function, what I'm setting to the logged in property or the route to the false. That is. Then it will work. See, if I save this, right now I am on the home component. If I click on admin, it is not navigating, right? Because I have set the property to false. Again, if I set it to true, admin component is working. Making sense? Just what you need to do is, you need to prepare a function in order to guard your route. So, let me just comment this. I'll quickly walk through this. I don't want to waste much time. So here what I have done is, I have created can activate, right? Now, you might have question. On a class component, you have constructor where you can, write your all the dependencies or inject all the dependencies there. Clear? With me? Now, on functional component, you don't have that. So how you can, have all these dependencies? So we have that inject. On inject method, we can have that auth service, and then what I'm checking is logged in. Second example, with that, I'm also checking that user permission is also admin. Then only that admin route will be accessible. So that comes second point, you can have multiple conditions on your guard. Making sense? Just with can activate, we have new feature which is now called as can match. If you focus on line number 30, right, there I have can match. Now can match is a replacement of can load. So can load will be not working with a standalone component. Whenever you are lazily loading that standalone components, can load will not work, right? So then you can use can match. And what is the best part about can match is, it will first check for your route before it is activated. And if it doesn't match your routes, then it will throw an error. Making sense? Similarly, can activate. We have seen can activate. If it was false, it is not redirecting to me anywhere. Because what can activate is do, your route is activated, but you don't have a permission. So it is not allowing you to view that page. And in other order, like in say can match, what can match is doing, right? Before navigating to route, before your routing starts, it will first check for the routes. If it match, then only it will start. Right? So if your route doesn't match or you don't have a permission, it will throw an error. Right? Yeah. So similarly, for can match, if we don't have the permission, instead of staying on that page, it will redirect us back to the no access component, right? So on a dashboard, you can see. Same thing with admin. We have used can activate. So this is the key difference between these two. All right? All right. So yeah, we have a lot to cover, but in order to save the time, the deck is and the demo is uploaded on the GitHub. You can check that, and I am here. If you have anything, just connect with me. Thank you.